Are Guns N' Roses still touring for the love of it, or are they just cashing in on fans like you and me? I've been a fan of this band since 1988. I lost my virginity to their music, so chasing that high, I've seen them 6 times since the reunion started. And after one great show this year and another one that left me questioning everything, I have to ask, is this still about the music or is it just about the money? Guns N' Roses pulls in about $5 million per show. That's about $100 to $250 million per year, depending on how much they tour. So they're definitely one of the biggest money-making live acts. But they've been touring the same setlist and format for almost 10 years by now. And some performances have been pretty shaky. So yeah, at first glance, this might look like an obvious cash grab. But let's dig deeper and look at the case for and against Guns N' Roses being in it just for the money. Are fans getting ripped off by sky-high ticket prices? Standard stadium seats are sold now for about $200. And for the VIP package, you're looking at $1,500 and up. And even at that price, there is no meet and greet, no backstage access. You don't get to talk to any band members or see what it takes to put the production together. Instead, you go on stage before the show, pose for a group photo, wait for it, with the band's instruments. So basically, for $1,500, you don't get to meet Slash, you get to meet his guitar. I made a video the other day that you can see up here about if Axl Rose can still sing. And based on what the feedback was there, I can see that people feel that he is sometimes letting them down very badly. So I've seen shows where he absolutely crushed it in some songs, and then in other songs he was totally awful. And in some of the videos that I made about them, both this video about him and also the Black Sabbath thing where they performed, I got so many Mickey Mouse comments about Axl Rose that I lost count. So you basically pay a premium price, but you might end up getting an off night from Axl Rose. So is Guns N' Roses just selling nostalgia by now, playing on the feelings of people like me? I mean, where's the new music that justifies all this touring? With no new album since Chinese Democracy in 2008, I think it was, the band has been touring the same old songs, same old stage and the same show setup. I know it's a long show with around 30 songs per gig, but it's from a relatively small catalog, so there's not a lot of novelty in there. Now these big stadium experiences for big prices, they can often result in very flat experiences. We are paying top dollar to see them in massive venues where the sound and the visuals can easily be off. And the atmosphere rarely catches fire, so it's hard to get this connection between the crowd and the band. So when they say what you want and what you get are two completely different things, maybe they're not completely wrong. Guns N' Roses feels domesticated now. It's not that unpredictable band that we got back in the 80s. They are now like a media-trained corporate thing. The social media is all kind of polished and there is merch plugs and stuff like that. There is no chaos, no danger. So apart from that video that they released with Axl Rose falling for a minute on different stages, we don't get to see the behind-the-scenes stuff or the rehearsal clips or any of that stuff. So with that missing, it's hard to know if the band actually has the spark to be there. Before we go into the arguments against this being just a money grab, I want to share with you something. Metal and Roxanne has launched a new app called Metal News. In Metal News, you find all news in one feed from all your favorite news sources. And the best part, it's totally free. It's available both on Apple and Android, and I'll put a link in the first comment below. Now back to Guns N' Roses. Just like there are some arguments for this being a money grab by now, there are also some signs that it's not. Most legacy bands stick to the safe markets, but Guns N' Roses is taking risks. Not all their shows on this tour are guaranteed moneymakers. So they played markets like Indonesia, Thailand, India, United Arab Emirates and Luxembourg. And besides some of these markets not being big money-making markets, they also come with some risk of logistics and added costs. Now let's be real, you get a lot of music for your money. Most of the big bands play 15 to 18 songs at best. I even saw Pantera do just 13 songs for the same price as I paid for Guns N' Roses. Iron Maiden are around 15 to 18 songs, but Guns N' Roses, 28, 32, whatever, 3.5 hour shows, no matter the weather, conditions, humidity or anything. Now let's give credit where credit is due. The band is really good. And this lineup is the tightest one that I've seen since the beginning of the reunion. The new drummer adds some serious energy after what I felt was lazy. Slash and Duff are killing it. Melissa, Dizzy and Richard Fortus, they're underrated I think. They bring a lot to this band. There is no miming, there is no backing tracks, there is no fucking safety net. Now it looks like Axl Rose has kind of ditched the diva attitude. Believe it or not, the band shows up to their shows on time, and Axl interacts with the crowd, and he's somehow more likable than he was just a few years ago. And you can see that the shows are rehearsed, they're coordinated, and they come from a place of pride. Now the million-dollar question is always, can Axl Rose still channel his 80s magic live? At the show that I saw this spring, Axl was shockingly good in some of the songs, but very rough in other songs. At the same time, he is probably the biggest argument against Guns N' Roses being in it only for the money. Because the guy gives it everything, 30 song sets, no backing tracks, sprinting across the stage. He even cracks jokes about his off nights or when he makes a mistake. There is no autopilot here. If he wanted easy money, he could mime it. He could do just 15 songs. He could down-tune all the music. He could rely on the crowd and the band for the backing vocals and so on. But instead, we get the raw, flawed, real Axl Rose, and that means something. Now one could also ask the question, is Guns N' Roses still a one-of-a-kind rock and roll experience? Well, they still deliver something that nobody else can. That Slash, Axl Rose and Duff combo is unmatched. It just has some X factor, and that's what makes Guns N' Roses so unique. Because of this band's impact, historically, it doesn't feel like just a show. It's more like an event where you're seeing history on stage. And we still sing every word along with them. Whether it's a deep cut or a hit, we sing along. And they're selling thousands of tickets every night, so fans not just want this, they fucking love it. Isn't touring the way that bands survive by now? I mean, streaming has kind of killed the album revenue, so we actually see bands that used to release an album every 2 to 3 years slowing that down and relying more on touring for income. So in some sense, Guns N' Roses is just adapting to a new reality. But are they any worse than the other legacy bands? If you look at bands like Metallica, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, then Guns N' Roses is just charging the same price. But on the other hand, Iron Maiden released a new album in 2021 and their live shows keep changing. Same with Metallica, album in 2023, and then they came with the no repeat weekends and a different stage setup. But on the other hand, Guns N' Roses plays longer show, double the length. But the lack of new material and the fact that they're touring a relatively small catalog actually stands out like a sore thumb. If I can give my 2 cents, then I don't think it's a full-on money grab. Not yet. But they're walking a very thin line. And if they wouldn't have changed drummers, and I wouldn't have seen that energy from Axl that he actually wanted to be there, I think I might say something different. And I think if they want to keep this going, they need to shake it up a little bit. And here are some suggestions. They could celebrate Appetite in its entirety, play the full album live, even throw in some songs of Lies or something like that. Now they could obviously record a new album. I'm not 100% sure I want that, because that could be a very double-edged sword. They could scale down the show, play smaller venues, get more intimate with the fans, pure rock and roll somehow, versus this big stadium experience that is often very flat. Or they could strip it back and do an acoustic tour, show a different side of the band. Right now, I still feel that they're giving us something very real. It's not perfect, but let's face it, Guns N' Roses was never about perfection. Because they've always been about that fire, and we must be sure that that fire doesn't go out, because then it's just money, money, money. Now what do you think? Tell me in the comments below, and I make these videos all the time, so now might be the perfect time to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next drop. Now I want you to check this video here. I went to see Iron Maiden live and I walked out of there thinking, is it time for them to hang up the boots by now? But then the algorithm actually wants you to check out this video here, so you choose.